To get started with GitHub, you'll first need to create an account. Begin by searching for GitHub in your web browser and clicking on the first link that appears. Once you're on the GitHub homepage, look for the Sign Up button and click on it to begin the registration process. And I recommend choosing Continue with Google as it's a quick and secure method. Simply click Continue to proceed. Next, you'll need to choose a username for your GitHub account. This username will be part of your profile URL and should reflect your identity. If the username you choose is already taken, GitHub will show an error message and you'll need to try a different one. I'll choose G1 Stack as an example, but you can select any username that suits your preferences. Your country will automatically be populated based on your location information. You'll also see a checkbox for receiving announcements and updates from GitHub. I'll go without checking this box, but you can choose based on your preferences. Finally, click the Create Account button to complete your GitHub account setup. Please subscribe to my channel as that support helps me keep publishing videos like this one. Now that you have your GitHub account, let's create your first repository. Look for the Create Repository button on your GitHub dashboard and click on it. You'll be taken to a form where you can set up your new repository. Start by typing a repository name and description. You can choose your own names and descriptions based on what you're building. Next, you'll need to choose the visibility of your repository. You can make it either public or private. I suggest choosing private initially, as you can always change it to public later when you're ready to share your code with the world. After setting the visibility, make sure to add a README file by checking the appropriate checkbox. This will create an initial README file that explains what your project is about. Then click on the Git Ignore dropdown and search for Node to add a Node.js Git Ignore file, which will help exclude unnecessary files from your repository. Since this is the private repository, I won't choose a license for now, but you can add one later if needed. Once you have filled in all the details, hit the Create Repository button. Congratulations, you now have a repository with a README file and a proper Git Ignore configuration. Your new repository comes with several useful features. From the Add File menu, you can create new files directly in the browser or use the Upload Files option to drag and drop multiple files and folders at once. The Code menu provides you with the clone URL for your repository, which you can use to clone it to your local machine, or you can download a zip file of your repository. Let's create a practical example by adding a new file. Click on Add File and select Create New File. Then name it config.js. You can add some sample content to this file, such as changing the URL from stackseekers.com to mydomain.com. After making your changes, where you'll see a commit section, you can keep the default commit message or update it to something more descriptive. I'll keep the commit message as is, but feel free to customize it. Click the Commit Changes button to save your file. Now you can see that a new file called config.js has been added to your repository. If you click on your username and go to the overview page, you'll see that you now have two commits in one repository. The first one was the repository creation and the second one was the addition of the config.js file. Now let's explore one of GitHub's most powerful features, forking repositories. Forking allows you to create a copy of someone else's repository in your own account, which you can then modify and experiment with. To fork a repository, first copy the URL from the repository description or navigate to the repository you want to fork. Once you are on the repository page, look for the fork button, which is located between the watch and star buttons. If you like the repository, you can also hit the star button to show your appreciation. Click on the fork button and GitHub will ask you to confirm the fork settings. I'll keep the repository name the same, but you can change it if you prefer. Add a description to help you remember what this forked repository is for. Make sure to check the copy only main branch option if you only want the main branch, or uncheck it if you want all branches. Finally, hit the Create Fork button. After a moment, you'll see that the repository, in this case Notion P, has successfully been forked to your account. You now have your own copy of the repository that you can modify, experiment with, and even contribute back to the original project through pull requests if you make improvements that could benefit others.